What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another Tottenham update for you guys. As you can tell by the thumbnails and the pictures and what have you, that not much new news, but it's all kind of rehashed news. We don't know if it is new news. There's one big significant update that we need to talk about, and that is the statement from the Tottenham Hotspur board. And yeah, let's get through it and what's been said.
Basically, Tottenham have announced that they will have fan representation on the board starting from next season after obviously all the fallout from the European Super League. I'll read out the main parts of the statement. They have said basically we should have challenged and reconsidered the annual access system. We wholeheartedly regret that we involved the club and the legal process itself meant we were unable to consult our fans early on, and we apologise unreservedly for that. So that's the club apologising for the European Super League.
Yeah, it's only taken them 2 weeks.
Taken them too long, to be honest. It says, we have learned lessons from the recent events and reviewed fan engagement as a priority. As a result, we shall be liaising with key stakeholders and establishing a club advisory panel comprised of elected representatives from the different constituencies of our fan base, inclusive and reflective of our fans' diversity. The chair of this panel will be appointed annually as a full non-executive of the club board. We believe this provides for authentic, genuine representation and will ensure fans are at the heart of club decision making, something we greatly welcome. So that is quite interesting from the board in terms of announcing fan representation on the board for the first time, which is a step in the right direction, at least, if not everything we've asked for. They did go on to say, we are disappointed that the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust has not yet met with the club, with the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, with whom we have worked with and indeed promoted for 20 years, has called for the resignation of the executive board over the ESL. Individuals who have lived and breathed this club for the best part of 2 decades. We have offered on several occasions to meet board to board and discuss an open agenda, excluding a change of club ownership and the resignation of the board. Our door remains open on this basis.
Yeah, their door remains open. But, you know, they blindsided every meeting that they ever had with, well, not every meeting, but the majority of the recent meetings, they were straight out lying to the Supporters Trust. So why in the world should they be gained trust? Why should they be trusted?
Yeah, they don't seem to be. So the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, last time we gave an update yesterday, said they are waiting for Tottenham's response in regards to meeting board to board with mediation from the FSA. It seems to me from that statement they have rejected that. That's what it seems to me. I don't know whether it says we've offered on several occasions to meet board to board and discuss an open agenda, excluding a change of club ownership and the resignation of the board. Our door remains open on that basis. That's what they're saying. So it seems to me they're not accepting the offer of mediation with the FSA between the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust and the board, and they're not going to take into consideration any club ownership or any board members changing.
I don't know what you feel about this statement, but for me, obviously, you won't ever know until it's actually put into place and you see if any change comes from it. But from reading that, from what I get for it, it's just a gesture token just to shut us up, shut the fans up kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Very, very interesting to see what the Supporters Trust say in response to that.
What's your gut feeling just on that, reading that statement?
Yeah, my gut feeling is that they're kind of throwing us a bone and it's not going to have any meaningful impact. But we don't know. We don't know. And look, all I'll say is we called for them to apologise for the Super League, and that's what they did. And we called for fan representation, and they've gone a step in the right direction. So these are all positive things, and change is positively happening. That's what I would say. But
it's also very well timed, let's say, from the Tottenham Hotspur board a few days just before this big protest planned.
Tottenham always do this kind of stuff PR wise. Every time they're very, very calculated, and all the time they make these decisions to make these announcements at very key times. And I think this is another example of that. Just before a protest, they decide the protest is planned for this weekend, and it was gaining momentum, and they decided to have this announcement just before. So maybe they're hoping to cut the knees off of the protest, basically cap the knees.
What do you think this means in terms of your views of the protest, Matt, now?
I think it still go ahead. And I think the message needs to be clear that, yeah, okay, they've made this step in the right direction, which is good, but I think the message still needs to be clear that more needs to be done.
There's a lot of work still to be done if we're going to get our way, isn't there?
100%. And I think they can't just put out an announcement and expect it to be washed away with it, basically. Yeah. They need real effective change, and that's the key point of this.
Yeah.
But the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust have put out a message on Twitter saying they're going to basically collect their thoughts, and they're going to give out a response because the announcement was very unexpected, they said, from their point of view. So we'll see what they respond in regards to what the announcement has been.
Well, those are our initial thoughts on the statement released by Tottenham Hotspur today. In my opinion, what it sounds like, I can't say it for sure just because we don't know what change is going to come from it. But from my opinion, I think it just sounds like a gesture token just to shut the fans up for the time being. But look, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the Supporters Trust
say on it. It is a step in the right direction, at least change is happening.
It sounds like it. But you never know what that actually means. Advisory roles on the board. Are they actually going to take notice of what they actually say? We don't actually know that, so we'll have to wait and see what the Supporters Trust say, because I think it's important to note what they say, and we'll see what happens. But as it stands, I don't think it changes anything in my mind in terms of this weekend and the protest and what have you. I think we still need to go there, still make our voices heard, still stand our ground, and still call for more change than that, because if this is true, and if they're genuine about what they say, yes, it's a step in the right direction, but it's still not all the way to being what we need it to be. So let's move on. Let's move on to a bit of news and rumours we've got for you today. The first one is from the Telegraph, and they say Tottenham are in pole position to sign Lyon defender Joachim Andersen this summer, with the North London rivals Arsenal also in the race.
And after Fulham's relegation yesterday, that makes him, for sure, he's definitely going to be available. So he's a defender I've liked this season. I know he's part of a relegated team, but I think he's a talented defender. And I think he has, as I've said before, he was a real leader. And I don't know if he's the one to revolutionise our defence, but he will definitely be a good start in terms of changing our back line to what it has been this season. Yeah,
I completely agree. I've been very impressed with him this season, and he's one that I'll welcome with open arms. Really would. Let's move on, and another one about a centre-back. This is from Bild out in Germany, and they say Jerome Boateng is top of Tottenham's summer transfer target list. The centre-back is willing to take a wage cut, but wants a 3-year contract.
3 years. Levy ain't giving no 32
even with a cut wage
deal. No chance that Levy's giving a cut.
Didn't we give Toby a 3-year deal just now at 31?
He was 31, yeah, but he's 32, I think nearing 33, Boateng. I don't know, I can't see him giving a 3-year deal, but you never know. But imagine a back two of Toby and Boateng. It's going to be very slow. You wouldn't be able to play them together.
Well, Joachim Andersen and Boateng, what do you reckon about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's decent. It's not bad. Look, I think Boateng is good. I still think he's got a lot to give, but whether we want to invest a lot of money on a player who's ending his career and at the end instead of someone like who's at the peak, I think we have to look.
When I think of Jerome Boateng, I just think of Messi completely tearing him a new one, like falling flat on his arse and whatever. That's what I think about when I think of Jerome Boateng, and that was many years ago now.
That was a few years ago, but he's still good. I think. Look, they got to the Champions League final last year. I think. I remember against PSG. I know they went out this season, but I thought he put in a great performance in one of the legs. So I still think he's got a lot to give, Boateng.
Not for me, in my opinion. But anyway, let us know in the comment section below. Would you want Jerome Boateng at Tottenham Hotspur? Let me know in the comment section below as we move on to the next bit of news, and that is about Sam Johnstone, the West Brom goalkeeper Sam Johnstone. This is from the Daily Mail, and they say Tottenham are interested in goalkeeper Sam Johnstone now that West Brom have been relegated from the Premier League.
See, this one, I just don't think he is good enough to be a goalkeeper for a team who have the ambitions that we have. I just don't think he's that good. Like, he's all right for West Brom.
Gets a few fancy points here and there.
Yeah, I think he's all right for like a team challenging. I think he's a good Premier League standard keeper. I just don't think we have Lloris who has world class ability, and I just don't think Sam Johnstone is that of that standard. So I wouldn't be too excited of him coming, but I do think he's decent.
Would you take him as
number 2?
Yeah,
potentially, yeah.
I would take him as number 2. But if you take him as number 2 and you keep Lloris on, then you're probably assuming that he's going to be number 1 the following year.
Yeah, true.
So make of that as what you will. Let me know your opinions of Sam Johnston in the comment section below as we move on to the final story of the video, and this is about Gareth Bale, and it's talking about Jonathan Barnett quotes, quite interesting quotes actually. The first quote is, he's only got 4 games left, or it's actually 3 games left now, so we'll see. It's a 3-party discussion, us, Real Madrid and Tottenham. I very much doubt he has a future at Real Madrid, but if they want to put him on the bench, then that is fine.
Yeah, it's a classic Jonathan Barnett, kind of playing both sides. He's done that throughout his time as Bale's agent, and we'll see where it leads in the summer. There's Sky Sports saying he's likely to stay, reports in Spain saying he's likely to go. Have to see how it plays out.
I personally believe, my gut's telling me he's going to stay. What are you thinking?
My gut's telling me he's going to stay, especially as well if he has like a good Euros. I think that'll convince us that he's still like going to be he can still be a star for us. But a lot depends, I guess, on how these last 3 games go, if he can make an impact, and how the Euros go, I think.
Have we not seen enough already though?
But let's say he gets an injury in the Euros, you know, and would that sway us in thinking, oh, is this guy just going to be injured again? You know what I mean? So I think a lot is still to be determined.
All right, and the final quote from Jonathan Barnett is on whether he would blame Jose Mourinho for the players' mixed season. And he says, well, I wouldn't do that. He's a very successful coach, but Julius Caesar was also very good. But I don't think he would be very good with the armies now.
Yeah,
so make of that what you will.
Damning from Jonathan Barnett. It's a very funny statement, and I can understand it plays into that narrative of Mourinho being that Finnish manager and everything, as I think it's quite funny, I thought. But who knows what Julius Caesar could do with armies now? Maybe he could still get a tune out of them. You never know.
I don't think so. Not from the grave, anyway.
Why not?
Because he's dead.
Yeah, Mourinho's not dead.
He's saying he's past it, though. I mean, I
know what he's saying.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about Jose Mourinho, because some parts of me thought that he's still got it, but then some parts of me think he is past it. I mean, in terms of his man management skills, I think he's past it, but in terms of his tactics, I still think he's got it.
I still think he's got enough to be a good manager. I just don't think he had the tools to do the job at Spurs.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is your Tottenham update for today. Very interesting news coming out of the Tottenham board about that statement today. We'll see how that one plays out. And we spoke about a few rumours in terms of Joachim Anderson, Jerome Boateng, Sam Johnston, and those Jonathan Barnett quotes on Gareth Bale. So let me know your thoughts on anything we spoke about in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.